Good morning, everybody. We have a mostly lower trade in the grain markets here early on Friday morning. It is 6:30 a.m. Central Time. December corn futures down 4.25 at 546.5. November soybeans down 8.25 at 13.18. December Chicago wheat down 3/4 of a cent at 738.5. December Kansas City wheat down 3/4 of a cent at 727.5. December spring wheat up 1.5 at 913 even. If you guys are listening on the podcast, as always, really appreciate it, guys. Leave me a review or a rating if you have not already. If you are watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel. My goal is to get to 5,000 subscribers. We're at about 2,700 and change, but it's growing every day. So if you're watching these videos consistently, you like the content, you're tuning in, make sure you subscribe and make sure you like these videos. Help YouTube to help me by spreading these videos out. If you need some additional assistance from me, go to my website. It is www.standardgrain.com. Go to that website, click on Grain Marketing Plan in the upper right-hand corner. Guys, I told you earlier this week about the subscriber-only videos that I do every single day of the week, and I sent out that video regarding soybean carry to a whole bunch of you guys. So if you're interested in more content like that, my morning email goes out every day at 6:30 a.m. Central Time. My text message service, which includes those videos, goes out twice a day. This is a monthly subscription. It can be canceled at any time. You don't need a trading account. You don't need to talk to me ever if you don't want to. You can just subscribe to this thing, get the texts, get the emails, and I promise, as I've said before, I will not try to sell you anything else. I know that's a big thing in agriculture is the old upsell, but no, you won't get that here. You'll get a monthly deal that you can cancel at any time. No questions asked if you'd like to cancel it. We do have some rain on the radar here this morning, and the tide has kind of turned here a little bit in regard to weather. You know, for most of the growing season, these areas, the Dakotas and southern Minnesota in particular, maybe northern Iowa, had been really dry, and you had much wetter conditions, you know, in the central Corn Belt and eastern Corn Belt. And here these last few days, and really as far as the forecast looks too, it's kind of shifted. We're now looking at some wetter weather for the Dakotas, for Minnesota. We've got some rain on the radar here this morning. You can see that's some of it over South Dakota, some of it over a little bit of North Dakota, a whole bunch over Minnesota and Wisconsin. That northern part of Iowa has some rain. Over the next 7 days, you've got some interesting stuff going on. So Tropical Storm Ida is going to hit the Gulf Coast here on Sunday, the way that it looks. And it's going to bring rains up through the Mississippi Delta and even as far as some areas of the southern Corn Belt. There are some areas, depending on how this thing tracks, all the way up as far north as, you know, maybe even parts of Missouri, southern Illinois, southern Indiana, that will catch some rains associated with this. Certainly in my neighborhood, looks like Tennessee, Kentucky is going to be wet and catch some rains out of that tropical storm. And then up north, you've got a separate system that will begin on, I believe, Sunday and run through like Tuesday or so. And you'll get some more rain here for the eastern part of the Dakotas, more rain for southern Minnesota, more rain for northern Iowa. So a lot going on here weather-wise. Of course, as I've said before, we know, of course, that a lot of these rains in some of those problematic areas up there, the Dakotas, southern Minnesota, I mean, they're too little too late to help some crops, maybe the corn crop, but I think for the soybean crop, they could certainly be helpful. The Brazilian government was out yesterday, released some new crop production estimates. They're calling for big increases in corn and soybean acreage. Big surprise there, right? CONAB says that corn acreage, or I'm sorry, let's start with soybeans. CONAB says that soybean acreage will increase 3.6% to 39.91 million hectares. That's 98.6 million acres. The bean crop is expected in total at 141.3 million metric tons, which would eclipse this year's record of 136. Total corn acreage is expected to rise 3.9% to 20.6 million hectares. That's about 51 million acres. The corn crop expected at 116 million metric tons, which would be a new record and a huge increase versus this year's, you know, basically really a crop failure near 87 million metric tons. It's very early, but the acreage expansion, in my view, is all but a guarantee. The size of the crop is a function of weather, and it's far too early to know anything about that. We know that they're going to start off dry, but September can be a wetter month in Brazil, and things could change very quickly. We've got a lot of time here. China bought more U.S. soybeans yesterday. USDA confirmed a flash sale of 133,000 metric tons of new crop U.S. beans to China, another 132,000 to an unknown destination, which could have also been China. These were the rumors, the sales, I believe, that were rumored on Tuesday. This is a classic lesson in what we'd call buy the rumor, sell the fact. The trade bought the rumor on Tuesday. The market was bid up On Tuesday, we saw that big rally, and by the time the news was actually reported, the rally had fizzled, and we're a little bit softer here this morning. USDA released its weekly export sales report also yesterday. New crop corn sales kind of soft at 684,000. China has not made a purchase of new crop U.S. corn since May. Soybean sales were very good at 1.7 million. Wheat sales were terrible at 116,000. U.S. wheat's just overpriced on the export market. There was some chatter yesterday, however, regarding Chinese interest in U.S. wheat, which could have had something to do with yesterday's rally in the wheat market. Bigger picture, new crop corn sales overall, the book is excellent. It's the best ever. China bought a whole bunch of U.S. corn for new crop delivery back in May, and that's largely the reason why the new crop export book for corn is so good. New crop soybean sales are good, but should be a little bit better given USDA's projection. Wheat sales for the current marketing year are the second worst in the last 10 years. They are not good. USDA expects Chinese pork production to decline next year. USDA's China office estimated a 14% decline in pork production. This was a quote from the report. In 2022, China's hog production is forecast to decline by 5%. Low prices and disease outbreaks in 2021 led to significant slaughter and delayed restocking. Pork production in 2022 will decline by 14% as fewer hogs come to market and government policies designed to limit price fluctuations inadvertently undermine expansion. That's a potential negative for corn and soybean demand, far from a certainty, but not necessarily the best news there. The EPA sent proposals regarding biofuel mandates to the White House yesterday. Now, what was in these proposals, we don't quite know. The rumor is this. The rumor is what we had heard here over the last couple of weeks, that the EPA would seek to reduce retroactively 2020 biofuel blending mandates. They'd seek a lower 2021 number and then simultaneously seek a 2022 number that is higher than both of those prior years. This was a quote from the EPA. The proposal aims to get the renewable fuel standard program back on track while addressing challenges stemming from decisions made under the prior administration. So the stuff regarding reduced 2020, reduced 2021, higher 2022, that's all just reports from sources. That's not official. The EPA did not tell us exactly what was in this deal, but we'll find out pretty soon. September grain options expire today. Make sure you take a look at any remaining open positions there. Tuesday of next week is first notice day for September grain futures. So if you've got some futures out there, make sure you take a look at those as well. Cattle market finished lower yesterday. Cash cattle came in 125 to 128 in Nebraska, 122 to 123 in Kansas. Box beef market was up yesterday. Big push in the select boxes, up $3.90. In the outside markets, we're pretty quiet this morning, but Jerome Powell's going to speak at Jackson Hole or through a virtual Jackson Hole meeting today, so they'll be watching that. U.S. dollars just a little bit lower. Stock market's up slightly. The S&P's up about 12. The Dow's up 80. Bonds off a little bit. Gold and silver mixed. Crude oil's up $1.24, 68.66 in the October WTI. Everybody have a great weekend. I'll talk to you Monday.